Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Event Tech Talk Show. We're doing another live episode now here from the show floor at International Confex 2026. Today, I'm joined by Dan, who's Customer Success Manager.
Customer Success Manager.
Customer Success Manager, thank you very much, at Jonas Event Technology. And it's a relatively new role, right, Dan? 5 weeks in?
It is, yeah, 5 weeks in. So just getting to grips with how Jonas do things, I think is fair to say.
Why have Jonas brought somebody in like yourself to do that role?
I think it's come from one thing Jonas has always done really well is looking after the customers. High NPS scores, retention's really, really good. And I think now what it's come to is to elevate that further and kind of keep it going. Organisers are now after the extra help on not necessarily just how the team are doing it now, but what features are being used on the platform, what isn't being used, is there any best practice that anyone else is doing that can be brought across to other organisers? And I guess it's a proactive approach of trying to get ahead of what's going on if there are any issues with an organiser, getting meetings in place regularly so that they can be discussed before they become big issues and turn into bigger problems.
So talk me through, I guess, one of those discovery calls with an existing customer. How do you go about identifying the gaps and where there's improvements or they could get more value out of the platform from?
So for me, from kind of where I've come from, I think you've got to go right back to the beginning, and it's what do you want to achieve from your event rather than trying to fix a specific problem and build towards that. It's what do you want to achieve? What do you want to see at the end of your event? And then tailoring the offerings that we have to then meet the end goal of the organizer rather than them kind of coming in and saying, we've got this issue, we need a solution to it. It's getting to the core of what you want to achieve and knowledge of the platform to then go through and say, well, we've got this that could help you achieve this goal that you're looking for.
Are there any, I know it's only 5 weeks in, so it's relatively new, let's be honest about it. I'd love actually to get you back in a year and just see what that journey has looked like over 12 months. But are there any kind of like common themes or threads that you're seeing across organisers in general?
I think at the minute it's getting across kind of from the beginning, planning your reg early so that you know the data that you want, you know, the segmentation that you're after. And it's just trying to get across there that the earlier we can get that into planning, I think it's becoming better in registration now, but getting that in early so that they know the goals, they know what they're looking for, and we can help them build towards that. Bringing them through that way, I think is the key at the minute. Like I say, it's definitely better. I was support 12, 13 years ago, and it seemed like registration was a bit of an effort and a bit of a last minute thing, whereas now it's coming to the front. I think organisers see it. It's the first point people get to your event. It's the first thing they see. If registration runs smoothly, they're coming into the show. It's a great first point that they've got, whereas if there's queues and things aren't working, you're instantly on the back foot and you're then trying to get your exhibitors, visitors kind of back on board. So getting it planned early, I think, is the key, and it's definitely heading that way now, which is
It's really interesting you make that point because it might just be my perception of things, but I've seen or it seems to be a small trend I've seen of show organisers actually opening registration much earlier, if not kind of, they take a 365 approach to it.
So we're seeing a lot of the time now as well. We're being asked by the organisers to, even if it's just to register your interest form, but a form being built so that the day the show finishes, there's an email fired out with a register your interest for next year. So they're instantly gauging the interest from the visitors that were at the show this year to see who's interested in next year. It obviously then helps with any sales calls that if they want to divulge the numbers, they've got an amount of people that have already registered. And it just helps them with the data then for how they're looking at it and how moving forwards, this is the audience that, if you call it the core audience, this is what we've got. What are these people looking for? And how can we tailor the show to the people that are then you'll repeat turning up to the events.
So it feels like that's almost kind of eliminating the post-show survey because you're getting the intent there, aren't you, from the
straight from the off. You get the, like you say, you get the intent. How many people are willing there and then? I mean, I've seen it done at some shows. I've not been to I don't know if I haven't been to a Jonas show where I've seen it yet, but you can get the boards as you walk past on the exit, scan the QR code, it brings the form straight up there. It's literally as you're leaving the venue, you can get people to then sign up to the next year's event, which is, I mean, for me, it's brilliant because it lets us then look into what the clients are doing, what the interest is in, how we can then tailor next year's event based on what they've already got to then elevate from what they've got this year.
That's awesome. I do have two kind of questions on that before I move on.
Sure.
What's your advice to organisers that might want to take that approach, I guess, to make sure that those people ultimately convert? Because there is research that suggests that the further out from a show somebody registers, the less likely they are to convert. But also then there's that question of like, how relevant is the data at the point of registration versus when they first gave you that intent? Because a lot can change in 12 months.
And obviously you see it, people's diaries will fill up. There'll be the reasons they can't attend the shows. You're always going to get that. That's definitely a thing. But I think it comes I think it works really well is you, like I say, you've got the initial interest. You've got them down, you know who's there, you can tailor marketing towards them then to, you were at the show, tying it in with event apps and things along that line. You can see what they were interested in. It's then tailoring marketing towards them afterwards to then try and get them to convert nearer the show. You saw these organisers, they're back this year. There's this tech you were interested in. There's a new supplier that's doing something similar. I think you can kind of tailor the marketing that way based on the knowledge of what they did this year to bring them back next year and kind of convert them through. Like I say, you've got to do it nearer the time of the event because the last 2 weeks of an event, you always see the spike. So if they've not converted, hitting them there, but then even if they have signed up before that, it's kind of hitting them with the marketing of, hey, this is what you were interested in. We're still delivering that for you this year.
Yeah, nice. I've also seen another small trend, not a massive one, of shows like Hardware Pioneers introducing a very small ticket fee to the expo, maybe like £9-10, something like that.
Right.
That they're seeing a positive uptake in terms of actual conversions, and their thoughts are that it's even a small amount of money feels like a more
commitment. Yeah. I think that depends on the show. I think it depends on the audience of the show. If you take a show that's been running for tens of years that hasn't done it, I think you'd probably get a bit more pushback because it's why are we paying for it this year when we've never paid for it? But then I think if you can prove kind of the value of what you're doing at the event to warrant that, I think you can push that through.
Nice. So the next question I've got for you is around your recent announcement and partnership with a company called Sitka.
Sitka, yep.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that partnership and what that means to Jonas and Sitka and possibly the events industry as well?
Yeah, so for me, this is one I like. I'm really excited by this one. It's one of the biggest gripes that you hear from everybody is they're coming to Jonas if they've got the lead retrieval through us, they've got one login there, they've got an event app, they've got another login there. If there's anybody else, and you end up with multiple data points in multiple databases, you've then got to try and bring everything together. You end up with the human element of have we got it right when we're pulling data through. So this one, I think for us is fantastic. So partnering with Sitka, it's now your event registration, your lead collection, the analytics on where people are going through the show, how long they're dwelling in certain times. It's all in one place. So it just gives the organisers a much more informed look at what's going on at the show, who's turning up. You've said you're interested in these things. Have you gone to look at those things? I think it really, really helps just bring everything together. It's ease for the organisers, which, like I say, they want the data all in one place, and attendees of shows don't want multiple logins to multiple. It's hard enough to get somebody to download one app, never mind 2 or 3 with the right logins and the right tools being used for the right things.
Yeah, even Event Tech Live, that's something that I've heard, even my show. And it's a double-edged sword with Event Tech Live because there's lots of technology partners and people expect a lot of technology, but the feedback from the exhibitors being, we could do with less places to deal with stuff.
One place to look at stuff. Yeah, no, definitely. That comes across a lot. So
I would imagine you've got lots of partnerships with other kind of platform and app providers, just like Sitka. So is this, would you say, because integration can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people.
Yeah.
Would you say this is a tighter, more native integration than with them?
Yeah. So this is, like I say, it kind of comes through. I guess it's the preferred supplier is maybe the best way of wording it. It's like if you're running an event with Sitka, if you run Reg through Jonas, you then get the tied in data. So it's kind of coming at them from multiple approaches on if they're offering registration and they want the lead collection, we can go through Sitka, we can recommend that. It just, like I say, it brings everything into that one pot of data rather than.
And where does that one pot of data sit? Does that sit on the Jonas platform? Or is it kind of mirrored on both?
I believe it goes across both. They'll see it all that way.
In terms of the future of that partnership, then, is there anything coming down the road that you can talk about at the moment? I'm putting you on the spot.
Not, like I said, not that I'm aware of at the minute. We've got Matt from Sitka is on the Jonas stand, I believe, tomorrow. I don't know if he'll have more to share.
I'll put him on the spot.
Yeah. So yeah, at the minute I'm not aware of anything that's coming through. Like I say, the partnership's there. It was signed last week. I'm sure more will come. However, at the minute, unfortunately, I don't have the early previews on those ones.
I've also heard on the grapevine that part of your role is going to be build out kind of customer-facing workshops and focus groups, and it sounds like you're also investing a lot more in kind of like educational content and videos. Why are you going down that route?
So it's the ability for what we don't want to do is at the minute we've got the project management team are coming through, and a lot of the queries are coming through to them on how do we do things, and their time is then being spent almost firefighting issues. Whereas we want them delivering the best events that they can do. So part of the customer success role that I'm coming into is almost a self-help guide. We're going to build kind of a catalogue of what are the 10 biggest things that we get asked most, build video guides and kind of text guides for those, that if somebody's got the issue, we can send them off to an area that houses these. They can help themselves. Then if there's still other issues they've got, they can come through. I just feel the way we're looking at it is if you're educating people, they can do it. Like I think we spoke about it. You could create call it a more friendly UI, but that only gets you so far. The education piece, I think, is it's a lot nicer for an organizer that you can have the most friendly looking thing in the world, but you've got a person at the end of the phone. If something's not working, you've still got that human there to talk to on, I've tried to do this, I've looked at the guide and I still don't get it. Can you give me a hand and we can walk through it?
Yeah.
So I think just, educating sits a bit easier than just like, hey, here you go. It looks really nice and we can do it that way.
And I think you have to appreciate, don't you, that people have different learning styles, they have different approaches. They're also generally or potentially in different roles entirely, depending on how the organization decides who's responsible for that piece of technology, whether it's marketing, operations, whoever. And I think you have to kind of design a broad range of opportunities and solutions.
It's definitely not a one size fits all. And like I say, so we're going to build the video guides and the text guides so that when people are looking at it, like say some people with a video, they can go through the video, pause it, click where I'm clicking and go that way. The people that will do it off of text is fine as well. But then, like I said, there'll also be the people that look just, hey, your guide doesn't make sense to me. Can you walk through it?
Yeah.
It's then give them a call. They can share their screen. I can share my screen. We can go through it and kind of take them through that way.
Awesome. Well, that kind of gives me a nice segue into my next question. And we couldn't do an event tech talk show at the moment without talking a little bit about AI. My question to you is then, do you see a future in which operations teams, marketing teams, they're using their chosen large language module, whether that be a ChatGPT, a Claude, and using a Jonas MCP? And for those people that don't know what MCP is, Model Context Protocol, it allows you to connect your local large language model with the solutions and the tools that you're using. Do you see a future where Jonas allows people to kind of make changes and edits or communicate with the Jonas platform in that way?
I think it could come. It's a tough one. I don't know what the development team was saying this one. I think you could.
You see, you can tell Dan's not in sales because he would be like, yeah, it's totally coming.
It's done.
Like Q4.
It's done. It's on the roadmap. It arrived last week, yeah. So I think it was last week, the week before, our first support ticket was answered by an AI within the system. So it's there, it's coming. But I also feel like you can't solely rely on that because there'll be the other people that they just want that human at the end of the phone. So I think it will help and it'll enhance kind of from my role in customer success. It will help with that. Not everything comes through. But I think you're always going to need that person on the end of the phone. It's the human interaction. As humans, everybody needs it, wants it, craves it. I think it will enhance what we do in customer success. I don't think necessarily replace what's going on.
I totally agree with you. There's already really strong case studies out there from organizations like Klarna. They replaced their entire CS team with AI. They actually fired everybody. And on paper, saved some obscene amount of money, right? Like probably making investors really, really happy about how much more profit there's going to be in the business. And the AI actually works a little bit too good. It answered all of these support tickets in record time, but the net promoter score of their customers went down. And they realized that it wasn't necessarily speed in the best way to approach because they were after, their target was lifetime value of customer, right? And that cookie cutter solution just did not fit all of those customers.
Yeah, so I think you lose the human element of it as well. So I mean, it can answer, it can sound like a human. I mean, you can look at an email and it's from an AI rather than a person. But like I say, people crave people. They want that human interaction. And we were talking about it earlier. I think it was yesterday. And you're going through, and it's some people then feel a bit weird that you've got an AI model that's got nothing there that's trying to be really personal with you, and it's that. You can take it from a human, but when it's from an AI on the other side, it's like, why are you wishing me a good day? What's going on here? Yeah, I think, like I say, it's that human interaction. People are always going to want the ability to speak to a human. I know I get it if you phone up a helpline and it's press 1 for this, press 2. You just give me a human and let me talk to someone, because I can hash that out quicker and get the more personal response to it than kind of going through a press 1 for this, press 2 for this.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that at the moment, and I don't see it happening for a long time, is there's not the emotional side of it, where the compassion side of things sometimes, right? Like when people are really struggling, maybe there's something you can do where you can go above and beyond for that customer outside of the normal framework of what we can and can't do with the black and white. And that actually makes everybody really happy. And that is the thing that has that lifetime value for that customer, because it's like, they didn't have to do that, but they did. They heard me. I was really struggling. They went above and beyond. But an AI will probably go, no, computer says no.
Here you go. Yeah. So like I say, if something's not working, give me a call. I'll share my screen. I can walk you through it. Going through, it's not a knock on AI, but you go through and it will just give you the steps again and try to simplify it. But sometimes it's just that interaction with a human that you go, I guess it's the ability to tailor what you're saying to the person based on, you've had a conversation with them, they've explained their issue. I can tailor what I'm saying to how they're responding to it, rather than an AI that's, no, here's the steps again. This is what you need to do. So give them a call. I mean, worst case scenario, if you're based in London, right, I'll come and see you. Like you could just get that with a human. That with the AI, like you say, it's the cookie cutter. These are your steps. This is what you need to do.
Second to last question now, a bit of a tough but fun one. You've worked on both sides now. You've gone from tech and service provider to organizer, back to tech and service provider. What's one of those things you wish the industry would stop doing, and one thing you'd love to see more of?
For me, I don't know why it's such a personal bugbear when you're talking to organisers at the end of one show and you go, so what are we doing for next year? And we'll just do the same. Like just roll it out. We'll do the same as this year. There's, especially with tech, there's so much that changes, so much that goes on, new features that get released within platforms, that you can't just go, we'll do the same as next year. Otherwise your event's going to end up getting left behind, because other people are innovating. They're doing new stuff with new suppliers, new everything. I feel like you're just shooting yourself in the foot with, we'll just stay and do what we do. You just end up stagnant. And like I said, I don't know why it's such a personal bugbear for me. I can't stand that. We'll just do the same. So if we could eliminate that phrase completely from events, I'd be the happiest man alive. And what I want to see more of, I touched on it earlier, I think it's from a registration point of view, making reg kind of the first thing that you're looking at. Like I say, it's the first thing that people go through, how they're interacting with a form before they've even got on site at your event. It's questions that they're being asked. Are they relevant? Are they going through a registration form that's 4 or 5 pages long? They're dropping off because like, why do I need all of this information? So as much as we'd love to grab everything from everybody, what are the relevant questions that we want? What helps you get to your end result of your event? What are you coming back at the end of it? What do you want to achieve? How can you do that through registration to set you up ready to achieve your goals and what you're looking at? Like, get that information easily accessible, kind of in your pocket, to then utilize for next events, for other shows. Just how are we going to kind of keep moving forwards and not just do the same as we did last year? I'm
asking you a question that's, I am going to go off script here, but you mentioned about accessibility. Is the Jonas registration system multilingual, and it will be able to understand where somebody's looking from?
So I know we've just released, where's it come from? So I had this call with our product person last week. So the Jonas system works in 3 languages. It will work in where the event is based. It will work on where, if you're viewing on a phone or on a browser, where you are located.
Yep.
There was a third one. The area of the event, the area where you're located, and the area of the organizer. So generally it'll be in English. If you're running an event in Italy, but you're German, you'll then be able to see it in English, Italian, and German.
Yeah.
So you can see it through those ways.
I mean, we've got like 20 already. We've got people coming from 20 different countries to Events At Live. We'll probably have close to 40. And I'll be honest, it's an area that I've missed in the past of not considering, like, we can make the website multilingual, but what happens when they get to the registration form, right? And all of a sudden that's just in English.
Just in English. I think it's a tough one because where do you stop? Is the bit. It is a tough one to do, but I guess if you can get it to the local language of the person, I think you're kind of onto a win there. Okay,
final question. Jonas, over the next 12 months, what does that look like? And maybe just what does that look like for you in your role within Jonas?
So I think for Jonas, I think it's slightly biased as it's the role I've gone into. I think it's a really good step to have brought in customer success. Like I say, the team have done really, really well so far throughout the years on kind of looking after the customers, looking after the clients. Like you say, the NPS score is really good. The retention's really, really good. But having that extra person in as a dedicated, like, it's my responsibility to make sure that you stay with Jonas. So I think growing that through the next 12 months, like I say, we're going to be speaking to our organisers, setting up kind of quarterly, 3-monthly calls on just the performance, how they're getting on, what Jonas could be doing better, if there's anything that they would need on the roadmap. Is kind of using me as a link between me and the company. It's it sounds really bad, but it's like the voice of the people. What do they want to see? And building that through to get it into the company. Maybe the way they're wording it would be different, and we don't then see the benefit of what they're trying to do. But if I can take it and then tailor it to the way that it's going there, I think that's huge for Jonas. For me, in the next 12 months, like I said, I think clients are going to end up seeing a lot more of me, which would be good. It's building out the guides, just getting in amongst the clients and just trying to elevate what they're doing, making sure they're getting the value from everything that Jonas offers, everything that they're paying for, and just kind of coming through there and just raising awareness of what's going on the platform and their performance within the platform.
Well, Dan, thank you very much for coming on the episode. I know it was a short and brief one. We covered a lot there, and I think Jonas is absolutely invested in the right areas of individuals like yourself and the plan and the roadmap and things like that. If anybody's not had a discussion with Jonas, maybe start with Dan and then please start on the sales team. Dan, thanks again.
No worries at all. Thank you very much.